Who can initiate a red flag action to seize guns? So your guns were seized under a red flag law. You might be asking, who could have started this process against me? How does this work? First, a red flag, the red flag law, as we've talked about before, they're basically a way for the state of Indiana to temporarily, possibly in the long term, but at least temporarily take away guns from individuals that we believe to be dangerous. So how is it initiated? And we've talked about before, it's initiating by a filing by a prosecutor's office. An officer could bring it to the attention of a prosecutor, and they file. It's not criminal, it is civil, but it is generally initiated by the state of Indiana. However, there can be a lot of people that basically establish the reason for why the red flag petition was filed. So it could be a law enforcement officer. There can be a number of reasons why law enforcement believes that your guns need to be taken. Maybe they have an interaction with you where they believe you have probable cause that you committed a crime. That's going to be a really common one. We're going to tell you don't have a right to have a gun at that moment. Temporarily, we're going to take your guns. It can be that. It can maybe be a family member. Maybe you live at home and you've got family members or household members who believe that you're acting suicidal. Maybe they believe, hey, you haven't been taking your medications and we're concerned for your safety. Maybe they're concerned for their safety. Maybe you've made some threats. This can be your mom, your dad, a sibling. It can also be a roommate, someone you live with, a friend, people who kind of interact with you a lot and see you. And so, they can say, hey, yeah, this wasn't like a one-time threat, something like this. Maybe it's a pattern of behavior that makes them think, hey, you're a danger and you need to have your guns taken. And these are just some different categories of petitioners: the law enforcement, a family member, a household member. Some states are actually expanding it further, even just the district attorney themselves, if they have reason to believe. And generally, that's going to come from one of these people, but that could be another category. So there's a number of ways that at least the information can be brought, and then the petition can be filed. So in Indiana, red flag laws, the petition is going to be brought by law enforcement. It's going to be state of Indiana versus blank. So it's going to be brought by law enforcement. However, depending on what state you're in, California, for example, law enforcement is going to be the primary people that bring it. But if we look at other states, Maryland, for example, it's actually more common that family members initiate the petition. So different states, depending on their law and how they've crafted the requirements, they might have different people filing. In the state of Indiana, generally it's going to be law enforcement that's filing or a prosecutor that's filing. And so they're going to be the ones that initiate the petition. However, the reason they initiate it might be from a family member or a household member. So if you have any questions about red flag laws, about who can and can't initiate a petition in a red flag law, give us a call to the Marc Lopez Law Firm. It's 317-632-3642. And remember, always plead the fifth.